Okay, so this episode is busy. We leave Antwerp, families on board, get out of Antwerp commercial docks, and we're into the canals of Holland. How cool is that? Oh boy, lots happens along the way here. Some good, some not so good. Watch, and you'll find out what happens. Well, good morning everybody. We're about to head off out of Volendam and we have the family with us now, so there's going to be lots of noise.
Thanks.
Family chaos.
So you can see just coming up there, the London Bridge is lifting. I think it's quite a funny name really. There's going to be a lot of us boys sitting and waiting for bridges.
Amazing, eh?
You can't reach.
I can't reach. I can't, like, even if it was just here. So just the top button. Yep, and then.
So this is fascinating. We've now been sitting here about 25 minutes just waiting, and I think the plan is that we're going to get all the barges we're sitting here waiting. Once we go through, they'll get all the barges to go through first, and then they'll let us tuck in behind them. There's about 4 other boats sitting out there waiting as well. Nothing happens quick, that's for sure. But we are in the port of Antwerp. We are about to leave the Antwerp Docks. All the barges parked along the side, or docked alongside, and there goes the canal off to Tholen, which is in Holland, and where we're staying tonight. About another 13 miles to go. And more locks over there to get out to the main estuary, heading out to Zeebrugge and the North Sea. So here we are coming up to the next lock, and the lock is called the Krijtklassluizen. And we've just been told by the lockmaster that we have a 2-hour wait to go through there. So we're just going to prepare the lines, get ourselves set up, and hopefully we can tie up somewhere and just relax a bit while we wait our turn. Looks like all these boats have to go through ahead of us. We've had 2 hours waiting here, and now we're just heading off again. They told us coming in that we had 3 meters clearance in here. What they didn't tell us was that getting in places there was only half a meter. So this is where they put us in, against that pier. But between here and the far end, at times we've only got half a meter clearance underneath us. So we're going to make sure that we follow the track out that we came in on, and then if nothing else, we know we have half a metre under the bow. Away we go. Number 7 in the line. Well, that was pretty tough back there in that lock, because the barge in front of us, sorry we didn't get any camera work on it, powered away, like lots of power, and it just grabbed our bow and flicked it off to the starboard. We tried to control it, couldn't, and it impacted us on the barge beside us on the starboard side. So decision out of that is we're not going to tie off to other small boats and locks from here on in when there's barges in front of us. If there's pleasure boats, it'll be fine. But if there's barges in front of us, the way they just power off, we need to be either tied to the wall or tied off to a barge beside us, because the lock level was going down. The people on the boat beside us were only able to hold on to the strings with their hands, with the lines with their hands, and allow it to feed out as they went down. They didn't have any tension on. There's no way they would have been able to hold us. So big lesson learnt there. I haven't seen how much damage yet, but hopefully not too much. Anyway, we are now coming into Tholen, which is the first Dutch town that we're actually going to be able to step off to the land with. So I'm going to have a cup of coffee tomorrow. Anyway, in we come. here we are going into the Yachten sluice, which is a pleasure boat sluice or lock. It means we don't have to deal with the big commercial barges and that. Perhaps yesterday they may have done that as well, if they'd had the other lock working, but there's only one lock working yesterday. But anyway, and we've just had a visit from Rudy, one of our followers. He went into Tholen about an hour and a half ago. As soon as he got in there, got in his tender and shot up after us and came to meet us, and he's been full of information, so valuable. Anyway, we've lost a big white buoy. If anybody sees it out there on the Nederland's canals, grab it for us. Hasn't got our name on it either, sweetie.
No,
Silly us, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, here we go into the Yachten Sluizen. Yachten Sluice. Simple.
You always go so much to the left when you're coming out of the place.
Well, I think I'm in approximately the middle. I've just moved away from that wall and away from that wall.
Oh, you reckon?
I think so.
That's the middle.
Well, about.
Oh, I reckon, yeah. I think you always lean.
Oh my God,
do you lean to the left?
What do you mean, do I lean to the left? What's she getting at, people, when she says, do I lean to the left? It's a bit cheeky. Here's all the other boats lined up to come through, and it's a pleasure lock. Oh my goodness. So now we know we've got to look for Yachten Sluice. And then we know that that is for pleasure boats. That is magic. All right. Off to Dordrecht, and we have 13 miles to run. They are going to wait for us till 8:30 tonight, so we are all good. Off to our next destination in Holland, the Nederland. Apparently Holland is a bit like a province, like the North Island or the South Island or Waikato. There are two Holland provinces, a north and south. The Nederland is the name of the country. Away we go.
Close? Is that close?
Yeah, pretty narrow.
Where do I tie it off again?
Tie it off to this one, yeah. Then that way we can't go forward, we can't go back. That's it.
There's Mark attempting to break his leg. And now the look of confusion.
Okay, here we are in Dordrecht. And what a cute marina. I'm going to do a drone flight later for you. Check this out. I think that's the cutest marina that I've been in so far. Anyway, off to go and pay for another night here because we're going to stay 2 nights, and I'm going to see if they've got some bikes so the guys can shoot off to a pool that's a little ways from here, and I am taking some documents that I have to get couriered back to New Zealand, so let's see how hard that is, eh? Anyway, here is a boat, looks like it's about to leave, and it'll be going out through that bridge, which is where you saw us coming through yesterday. And you know, it actually is very tight because you get into the marina and you've got nowhere to manoeuvre, and when you get out you basically got to come to a halt and turn on the spot, so it's pretty interesting. Anyway, all manually operated. Apparently on the ISIL, there's a new one gone in, it's electric and it's already broken down. So they like this one. Anyway, here's a yacht leaving. So I guess someone's going to come and open the bridge, because he sure as heck ain't going under that bridge, is he? Oh, here's the church bells. We are in, by the way, the oldest town in the Netherlands. Oh no. Looks like he's moving into the marina. Anyway, I'm going to go and pay for today. There you go, that's it there. There's the entranceway. It's not very big. And see if they've got bikes. So look at that. That is the Frankel family. 6 people. On the 19th of the 11th, 3 of them in Auschwitz died, so you'd have to assume that was extermination. And then that's an interesting one, look, 9th of the 5th 1945, which is after the war ended. So maybe just that could have, they were born in 1909, so 36 years old. This person was old, 1883, so they just got, you know, gotten rid of. But these guys, 1928, so only 14 years old. Just horrible, I think. 35, 37, so they were only 5 years old and 7 years old. Frederick, think about that, mate.
That's the parent.
5 and 7 years old. In 1906, his grandparents again, and you know.
So not sure if you can see, but that building there is leaning forward, and these newer buildings have been built straight, and the reason for that is because of the hook right up the top where they grab stuff from below to take it up. They do it like that to counterbalance, so they're actually made on lean. Isn't that incredible? They're checking that I'm not from the police. On the police. There it goes up again.
Kia ora, Mark. Te tuko hako e ho.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark. This is Mike. Mike and I are in Chester, and he's been following you, bro. And what a chance is it for me just to come to Chester in an isolated pub, and I met a guy that knows you.
I'm watching you, and it's like doing me head in, mate, because I'm watching you so much I can't sleep at night. I'm trying to catch up, so I'll be within Holland, but it'll probably be about 4 days before I catch up with you.
Actually, I'm behind as well, Mark, because Susie and I have been travelling around Ireland, and we're back in Chester, which is absolutely beautiful. And we've got lovely trips like this. As you and I were saying the other day, we're meeting lovely people every day, and we can't believe on this planet there's so many nice, kind people. That's correct?
But I've sailed the Med quite a bit as well, so I loved it when you were in the Med, so I've done a bit of that for 6 months of my life when I was young.
So, Mark, if Mike turns up when you were travelling back in England, well, don't forget, treat him well. Cheers, bro. Get waka. Mike?
I hope to catch you soon, mate. If you're over here, come and stay with us. We'll find you some place to stay in Chester.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
Well, good morning, Saturday morning, and this is an absolutely magic marina, tiny wee marina. I'm going to get both cameras up outside because getting out of here is pretty tight. There's not a lot of room at either end of the boat when we turn around. I'll show you. So let's go out there. Just a little 5-mile run this morning. Just watched the All Blacks win again. So there's the other side of the marina. It's not far away at all. And obviously here's the wall here. So basically we're going to push off sideways and then we'll just pivot. We'll have someone at the front and back of the boat, but we know a 50-foot one has gone out before us, so we should be fine. Anyway, let's get underway. We love this place. Dordrecht. thank you. Yeah?
Yeah, I hope it's saying okay.
We'll give you a shout out on the YouTube channel. Best marina so far. Safe trip. Thank you. Well, good morning. 20th of July. Now it's fascinating here. We have got ourselves nicely snug as a bug in a rug in this marina. All the way in, talking to him on the telephone, which I did 3 times. He said, yeah, no problem, no problem, no problem. Then he came to visit last night and he said, oh, I've never seen as big a boat as this in here. And he took photos. So we are very snug in here. And we settled into the mud overnight. So the tide is now just coming in and we're floating again. I can just feel the boat moving underneath us, and I've gone around and checked the depths on that side of the clubhouse and on that side of the clubhouse, and it's deeper than where we are. And the local who lives in this boat said no problem. So anyway, very soon we're going to start up and we'll get underway. Got a little bit of a surprise for you later. We'll talk about that then. So here we are, down here, look. And I've got some great drone footage of the windmills this morning. And the marina is the WSV de Lek Marina. So basically we're going to back out of here into that alley and head out onto the Lek River, which is here. And we've just got 20 odd miles to go along here to another sluice, and we can anchor either here or here. At this stage we're going to anchor on this side, but we'll see. If they say we can anchor there, then we'll go through the sluice. There's the sluice off to the port side of the river there, and we can go and anchor in there. And apparently it's good for swimming, and we've got some people coming to visit us to say hello to you. Anyway, that's the first part of the Lek River trip, and then we're going to carry on until we get to Arnhem over here. And then at Arnhem we're into the IJssel, and once in the IJssel we go through Fiona and Rodney's family country, and we're up into the IJsselmeer up by Amsterdam. So it should be a good day. Just over 20 miles, a little bit of rain coming, early 20s, or a bit muggy actually, early to mid 20s.
So here I am, cycling in Holland. Hier ben ik fietsen in Holland. Mooi allemaal, hè? En dan kun je het zien, de windmolen. And you can see the windmills.
far you're off of the right and the left.